Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and massive news if you are a Chelsea fan. If you have officially signed Jamie Gittens from Borussia Dortmund for a fee of about 55 million euros, and it is a signing that Chelsea have been trying to get over the line for about 2-3 weeks now, and finally it seems like the deal is done. All the details have been accepted by both the clubs. Personal terms have been agreed with Gittens for a number of weeks now. It was just Borussia Dortmund getting waiting to accept the price that Chelsea were willing to pay, and finally the deal has been done. It is reported that Chelsea are going to pay Borussia Dortmund 55 million euros. I mean, that's a big price for the 20-year-old, but he's a player that America has highlighted from the start of the summer window that he really wanted him, and Chelsea have gone out and they have signed him. This year it feels like Chelsea are not just throwing money everywhere. They're not just signing every player from right, left and center. It is Mariska thinks that he already has a good squad, and he thinks he just needs that tweaking, one or two or three signings in his opinion, that he wants to bring in the players, and that he can he thinks that those signings can propel Chelsea to the next level. Maybe try to fight for the title this year. There are big rumors that Christopher Nkunku might leave. There are rumors that maybe Madueke might also leave Chelsea. So that's why bringing in a player like Gittens, it sort of signals that those moves are going to happen. I mean, Gittens is a really good player, 20 years old, as I said, English international, English under 21 international, sorry, plays on that left hand side. He played, we had an amazing season for Borussia Dortmund, 8 goals, 4 assists, and he is really fast. That's very important. Chelsea would love that, the way that Chelsea plays, especially when they hit on that counter attack. Gittens is going to be really important for those counter attacks. He can beat defenders one-on-one. He can dribble the ball very fast. He's a really good shot. When the moment when he cuts in, always there's a danger that Gittens is gonna score against you. He's the cutbacks. I mean, it is a beautiful player to watch. He was one of the shining lights for Borussia Dortmund despite the struggling season that they have. They finished fourth, but the majority of that season was a struggle, and he was one of the reasons why they ended up finishing in the top four. The way that he played, orchestrating all those goals for Gray, it was very very important for Borussia Dortmund. Getting that we would hope, and Chelsea fans would hope that he can bring all those attributes, and he can really help Chelsea. As I said, there are rumors that Nkunku is going to leave. There are rumors that Madueke is going to leave. So that sort of takes 2 players out, and he comes in and he sort of fills that homegrown quota as well. Being English, you sort of get that as well. So it's like a really good deal from Chelsea's perspective. You look at from Gittens' perspective, I think again you sort of understand he's coming back home into the Premier League. He's going to play for Chelsea, a massive club. They are going to be in the Champions League, and he knows the project at Chelsea. There are if you look at Chelsea's squad, majority of those players are quite young. It's a 7-year contract, so he's going to be at the club for 2032. They are continuing those long-term deals that Chelsea have started to make for a number of their players, and with him coming in again, he's going, as I said, 7 years contract. So his future is stable at Chelsea as well, and he would love to be part of that project and try to help Chelsea get back to challenging for the Premier League, trying to win the Champions League, and being an important player. And he knows when this is an important year for so many players. The next year is the World Cup. Everybody would want to make that a World Cup score. So it's going to be an important, I think, playing in the Premier League week in week out. He's going to be much more in a way closer to Thomas Tuchel's eyes, and he can really light up the Premier League. Of course, his wage is going to increase as well. So it feels like a really good move for him. Borussia Dortmund on the other end, of course, they are going to be really sort of disappointed that he has left, but they are getting 55 million euros for Arcade. They really did not pay that much. He's just 20 years old, so they can go ahead and they can reinvest in the squad, and they are going to bring Borussia Dortmund. One thing for Borussia Dortmund, they are very good in bringing players. I mean, their scouting network is really good. When they bring in players, they make them start, and unfortunately majority of the time they leave them, but they know that this 55 million euros is going to be really helpful for them. And again, it's if a player once decides to leave the club, it's better to let them go instead of keeping them here. And even though he was really good for them last season, it would be, it's beneficial to let them. So all in all, it's a really good move for all the three parties involved. It has still not been announced, but it feels like most of the things have been done. Sorry, most of the things have been done, and it is going to get announced quite quickly. So massive deal. So congratulations to Chelsea fan for getting Jamie Gittens. But the news don't end here. Chelsea are also getting very close, to signing Joâo Pedro from Brighton and Hove Albion. I mean, that is a massive signing. Yet again, as I said, he's trying to Maresca is trying to get in 2 or 3 important players that are going to come in and that are going to score the goals and that are going to help him. Again, Pedro, I mean, he had a sensational season at Brighton, scoring about 10 goals. He had 8 assists, so he has like 18 goal contributions throughout the season. So you bring him to Chelsea, it is going to be really good for them. Newcastle are still in that race. They also really want to sign Joâo Pedro, but as of now Chelsea are in the league. It feels like their first priority was to get Gittens, and now they are going to speed up their process to get Joâo Pedro in as well. And if they end up signing Joâo Pedro, I mean, that is going to be a really good deal. With now you are sort of replacing Nkunku and Madueke with players like Gittens, with players like Pedro. I mean, that already, if you that takes your score from about 7 to 9 directly. It is a simply sensational player. The way that he plays, he's so fast, and I sort of understand what Maresca is trying to do. He needs those pacey players. He's very good with balls, a ball on his feet, and his off the ball work is very good. He needs those players who are gonna press. So you have Gittens, who played at Borussia Dortmund, playing that high pressing football. You are bringing in Joâo Pedro, who played at Brighton, again that high pressing football. So he is bringing in players who are really good at that, high pressing, who are really gonna defend until like their lives defended. Or it's not like they're just gonna stand by, which was a big concern for Madueke. He got a lot of criticism for that. But he's bringing in players like Pedro, so who is sort of, in my opinion, is going to replace Madueke, if I'm being very honest with you, and he is going to be really good. The runs that he makes going behind the defenders, I think with the players behind him, I mean, if you have players like Gittens, you have players like Neto, you have players like Cole Palmer slipping through balls to Joâo Pedro, I mean, and him making those runs and waiting for his player, his teammates to find him. I mean, that is a really scary look if you are a rival fan, and if you are a Chelsea fan, you should be really over the moon. So tonight it has been all about Chelsea. One signing, it seems like it's all over the line, and the second one, it's on the way. And as I said, if both of those signings get over the line, I mean, that's a big statement from Chelsea, and they're charged towards that title race. I still think it's a bit early. I still think they need a stable season this year. Have a good season in the Champions League, go deep in the Champions League, and maybe you can go ahead and have a crack at the Premier League title, but yet again a top 4 finish, making sure you finish in the Champions League. I think that would be a good season, and bringing in players like this, I think that's very important. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the both of the signing Gittens coming into Chelsea, and Joâo Pedro as well. How are you feeling, Chelsea fans? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of July, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.